Hello, kia ora, g'day. I'm Philip Duncan from Weather Watch TV on YouTube with your Australia-only forecast through until Tuesday of next week, because we've got quite a few things going on at the moment. Even though there's not necessarily widespread rain, we are seeing more rain appearing in most of the states and territories over the coming week. So let's try and break it down, because we've got significant thunderstorms today and rain moving through South Australia, moving out of Western Australia and the Northern Territory and really focusing on South Australia. So that is a significant line of thunderstorms moving along early this morning, and it will continue as we go through the day, moving towards Victoria, where you can see a line of rain here moving in. Now, not everyone's getting the wet weather as we've been talking about this week. It's sort of a narrow line of heavy rain, so you'll get hit and miss kind of rain relief for those that do need it. And not as wet around Tasmania at the moment, and certainly not a lot of drama going on around Queensland, but we do see a change next week where there could be a low, as we're going to show you, that could track right through the east here. It's not locked in this far out, but it is showing up in the computer modelling. So let's break it all down for you. Here we are with the Tuesday afternoon air pressure map. So you can see the low here over the Great Australian Bight. The thunderstorms are going where it transitions from the warm airflow to the cooler southerly change. Classic setup, warm to cold. So that is moving along very slowly today towards Victoria, maybe some parts of New South Wales as well. Tasmania, you're pleased to know that the wind for today, for now, isn't quite as bad as it could be. We are still seeing some surges of wind around though, but there's not a lot of high pressure around. Got this one out here in the southern part of the Indian Ocean, and the next big high way out sort of east of New Zealand. There is a small area of high pressure just off the coast of Victoria, but the main one is well out to the east of New Zealand. So let's have a look at the forecast. Here we are for Wednesday. We've got the severe weather box back here again. That is mostly for thunderstorms, heavy downpours, hail, and also the chance of damaging winds, although the wind doesn't look like it's going to linger around too long, but there could be a surge of it. There's some lower pressure around Bass Strait, high pressure building here coming into the Great Australian Bight. So between South Australia and Victoria, especially around Victoria, there's a bit of a squash zone where the southerly winds or southwesterly winds get squeezed through. So this is an area that could blow those winds out towards New South Wales and the ACT. So this is sort of at the lower end of the risk scale, or sort of low to moderate end of the risk scale as far as all those are concerned, but it's worth pointing out. And there may also be lingering thunderstorms and showers around parts of South Australia and the Northern Territory, and once more fading out into Western Australia, where it's pretty dry, not too windy, a couple of coastal showers around here and there, and also Queensland, pretty dry on Wednesday. But look at the heat in New South Wales. So hot weather is on the way today, tomorrow, as a result of that northwesterly wind, but there is the cold change coming in behind it. So you're going to start off hot and then get the cold change. That's why you could get some downpours and thunderstorms. So keep up to date with your local forecast. Here is the wind map, 2 o'clock Wednesday. So this is this narrow area of windy weather that's moving along the southern coastline out of South Australia and kind of picks up around the Victoria coastline. So we could see strong winds, maybe damaging gusts, perhaps more associated with thunderstorms and squally showers that could affect Melbourne and Geelong and other places around Melbourne. And then you go further up into the mountains and to the ranges, and you've got gusty conditions, northwesterly winds, so hot before the cooler change comes on through. So Thursday, it's disappeared. How quick is that? High pressure pushing in towards Adelaide, stretching out into Victoria, and those winds are calming down. Or there's a bit of a southerly breeze in some spots. Temperatures should be down on Thursday for some of you, and the polar boundary comes up just around Hobart, but also around the southwest of Western Australia. There's a little surge here as well. Also southerly winds coming through. We've got a few showers and thunderstorms into the Northern Territory and Western Australia, and there could still be a few thunderstorms or showers, heavy showers in the south and southeast of Australia. And the heat, the tropical boundary, gets pushed back up towards Queensland, where it's still hot but mostly dry. Not much rain, I'm sorry. I know I'm getting more and more people from Queensland asking, where's the rain? We need the rain now. So not much here showing up, unfortunately, as we go into the end of the week. And even these are, only a few showers, although you never know. I mean, these showers can be very heavy, and they can produce hail and thunder, even though it doesn't look like a lot here on the map, especially when you've got that tropical boundary and those showers forming inside that tropical boundary, as we see over here around places like Uluru, Ayers Rock. Low pressure a little bit in here. We're seeing windy northerlies coming back into South Australia, but the polar boundary, not far from the southwest corner of Western Australia, driving in more showers and squally conditions and a drop in temperatures. And by the way, the southerlies go all the way up the coastline, which means the tropical heat retreats from a number of the main centres along the western coastline and up around the Northern Territory. Very quiet in the far north Queensland as well. The top end, we're seeing calm conditions and not really a lot of energy. Even into Saturday, these circles you see around the tropical parts of Australia, the northern parts of Australia, are small areas of low pressure. But you're not really getting a lot of moisture out of it, not a lot of rain. There are some downpours and thunderstorms through central areas. South Australia's got the better chance of rain, showers and thunderstorms on Saturday, once more due to this low over the Great Australian Bight. That's also sending a southerly still into a large part of Western Australia. Those showers will start to spill over into Victoria, maybe a little bit into the very western side of New South Wales, and not a lot going on in Tasmania on Saturday. Lighter winds, warmer weather, not very much in the way of rain. So there's some very good news for you. Make the most of it while it lasts. There may also be a couple of coastal showers around New South Wales. Let's go to Sunday, because as we go to Sunday and into next week, that's when things may start to wake up a bit more for many of you, more populated areas being exposed. So the severe weather box is back. Again, sort of at the lower end of the scale, but you've got thunderstorms and strong winds in that forecast. The polar boundary returns to the lower half or lower third of Tasmania. That will drop temperatures for you with wintry conditions. And by the way, southwest Australia, over in Western Australia, the similar polar boundary coming right up close to you. So you'll feel the temperatures down, those southerlies still going all the way up to the Midwest. But we've got these thunderstorms, maybe some strong winds coming through. And again, it's a windy western northwesterly for New South Wales, followed by the colder, cooler change. The tropical heat still up around Queensland and the Northern Territory, where we will see thunderstorms and showers bubbling up here and there. Fingers crossed you get some of the rain that you need. And we've got more windy weather, as I mentioned. So look, this is right at the lowest end of the scale as far as concerning winds, but we do see blustery conditions around the mountains, the ranges, Bass Strait, coastal parts of Victoria, but even coming into South Australia, right into the outback of New South Wales, and possibly even going up into the southwest corner of Queensland. Gusty conditions that might be getting up around gale force or even a little bit above that. That's what you're seeing in red. That doesn't usually cause too many problems, but it can cause, dust storms, and some branches can sort of break once you get over gale force. So it's probably at the lowest end of the scale though. Now next week, this is where we're looking at the next set of energy. We've got these showers bubbling around Queensland and the Northern Territory, maybe a little bit into the Kimberley. They will come with thunderstorms as well. At the other end, look at the polar boundary back into Victoria, Melbourne, Hobart, underneath, south of the polar boundary, meaning you'll feel the temperatures down again. It'll be a wintry day for some of you, and even just brushing the southeast corner of South Australia, then you got kind of an easterly flow or a southeasterly flow coming into Western Australia. But it's this low right in the middle of Australia that we're focusing on as we go into next week, because, and don't get too excited just yet, but here is the Tuesday setup. The severe weather box, very large, but it does not mean all of you have severe weather. There are large areas that are dry without much happening, but this could produce severe thunderstorms. That's why we're highlighting it. And it also brings in kind of widespread, even if it's sort of hit and miss, widespread areas of these hit and miss downpours and thunderstorms that could really be developing around Queensland and coming into parts of New South Wales, the Northern Territory, South Australia as well, where you've got colder coastal southeasterly winds meeting with some of that low pressure, pulling in that tropical airflow into it. So there are a few things going on as we go into next week around Australia. So there we go. That is the forecast for the next several days ahead. Join me again tomorrow, Wednesday, as we try and break this down, lock it in a bit more for you. We'll see you then.